Hello, and welcome to the 13th episode. No, this is number 14. The post-production podcast. Back in the Tar Bar Ballymoney. We're back. We're not homeless anymore.
Yeah.
We took a wee 1 week to be homeless.
You can say that again.
And this week's guest.
This week we have a new guest.
Harp.
Or not new. He's been a guest on the podcast before. It's Technical T.
Tommy T.
You know, Hunter Files Series 1. That's all I have in my name.
He's twisting, he's technical, he's web-toed. It's Thomas.
Yeah, we decided to have all three of us on the pod this time instead of just Michael and Adam because of the recent performances.
Look, we're like three peas in a pod right now.
I feel like I'm talking to myself sometimes this bunch.
Yeah.
But also because the movie we're going to be talking about today, you haven't seen. So
No, I want the audience to know this. Michael didn't
What?
not see this movie. Michael,
I dreamed it.
me and Adam watched it together. Michael was there, but Michael said, "Oh, I need to go to sleep" because he drank too many Stella
It was
Artois.
like 3 a.m. and
he
then...
was
Yeah.
drunk.
He
I
was
mean, does
drunk.
it count if you're in
Just
the
remember,
film?
just remember Stella Artois.
Yeah, it's
Like,
Stella
this guy
Artois.
was drunk of Stella Artois, drinking them as if there was a
It
cough
flows like
syrup.
water. Yeah.
Like, it was a purr showing from you, Mike, and I want people to go down in the comments below and tell you off for it.
Rapping
'cause-
for the Belgium squad.
Yeah, but it was purr. Still purr, mate.
Mate, you know what's per? Podcast in the car. Homeless
That was
things.
pretty poor. What do you think of this?
Right, Adam's trying to molest his cat over here.
The cat was reading my fucking notes, man.
Cats. Right.
I don't know.
New segment.
Knowledgeable cat, mate. So, I'm going to be talking about a few different topics today. Just be a
not
guest.
being one of them.
Just be a guest at this point. Like, come on. You know you want to be a guest.
He's got a gun.
Sign the contract and just be on it.
Got my shotgun.
But actually, wait, before we go into what we're going to be talking about today, what are we drinking today, boys?
What are we drinking today?
Hard for me.
Censored on YouTube. Got a Guinness lad. Solancha.
Oh,
And I've got Magners from the can.
spoken like a true salesman.
So it's usually how I have my Magners. I love Magners.
What were you
What we're
making?
going to say.
Harp, because I'm an alcoholic.
And as you can see, Michael's already drunk his...
He is an alcoholic.
He is an alcoholic. Can we
guilty.
get a help Mike below?
Help Mike.
Mike.
Crowdfunder to fuel my alcoholism. I mean, rehab.
It's because of you making this new movie, you know, Chasing Pavements. He's been on the bottle ever since.
Chasing Pavements coming out tomorrow.
Listen,
We're chasing alcohol.
he had a crowdfunded instinctive and all the money just went alcohol.
Yeah.
Don't tell.
That's what he does.
Don't tell the universe.
If he actually got it, would have been like 100 kV.
I thought you were going to say like the university, and then you just stopped at university.
Yeah, Buddha's watching.
What's your star sign?
I'm gonna have to be a scorpion for me. Is that what we call it?
Right. So now we're back in our place.
Mm-hmm.
I had a wee idea this week. I had an epiphany about content, right? So as we said in last week's podcast, we scrapped 2 series. There's no more Beyond Film and no more, ZeusWeusFilm. So, but then I had a thought. Because we review movies on this podcast sometimes, we talk about it can be about that. But we talk about, when you really think about it, can be about a lot of things. It can, like the other series could be merged into that in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
Where we talk about, it's like a weekly vlog that we do, talking about a topic, usually a film or something about film. We can talk about other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a good way to go about it going forward. It's like I'm obsessed with this phrase lately, trimming the fat, and I think that having those other 2 vlog series is gone, but sort of merged into one,
Mm-hmm.
where we can pick a topic and just talk. I think that's a good idea.
Sounds good to me. Always worth trying something new.
Yeah, and also we
Oh,
never
sure.
really plan these podcasts, so it's kind of helps with that.
It does. We have more time to put into the podcast. 3 solid videos a week.
Mm.
And speaking of 3 solid videos a week, you have the podcast that we talk about. This Friday's Friday out.
What's all that about?
it's your debut as a Minecraft streamer.
You didn't have to give it away, but I do have a gaming channel now. So
Yeah,
link
so
here.
Spontaneous Gang, if you want to join it, go down below once the episode drops. Michael's Twitch will be linked.
Spontaneous guy, go.
He started up his own Twitch channel. You won't be able to subscribe to it because he's got the name all planned out. You just need
Partly
to
out
actually
of it
create it.
to do a lot of things, so I got cancelled.
So he's got his
First
setup,
hour.
he's got his setup and all done, and he's going to start streaming this Friday. Is it, Michael? So
Friday at 4 a.m.
yeah, I guess that's when he wakes up. So he wants to wake up, get the Minecraft, and then
My largest audience is Vietnam, so
yeah. So if you're from Vietnam,
if you don't speak English, you probably watch my videos.
Why did you not watch Under Siege with us? This is gonna be such a weird movie to talk about because only me and Thomas have seen it.
I sleep so early now.
no, it's not. You can't use that
But it was-
excuse.
It was
you
drinking
were
and it was
drinking
3 a.m.
Stella as if it was water.
But
You were drowning that.
I could have
And you-
easily
then you-
watched it if he's at like 12.
No, you couldn't have. You
But it
couldn't
was 3
have.
a.m. and I was
Too
The
busy,
I
state
would've been
of you
tired
whenever I
regardless.
Too busy
state of
watching
you
the
whenever I
movie.
came in.
Oh yeah, you just came into my room. And let's not talk about that.
Like, just get down below. Mike's a wank.
Get below the
Something
table
like
right now if you're on Team Mike. Spontaneous.
Spontaneous, mate.
But so Under Siege.
We're gonna talk about. We talked about 2 weeks ago on the podcast the worst movies. We had a few horror movies. We had #horror. We had a few other movies. But when it came to the Instinctive, it was dreadful.
Dreadful.
When it came to the action segment, we only had a few. You had a couple of Steven Seagal suggestions.
Yeah.
But you confused it with, what was it? American Sniper, you called it?
Yeah,
But it's
so-
actually what?
So there's a movie that's out from Steven Seagal called American Sniper where he plays a SEAL, and may I say
That's not in the movie. Is it not Sniper? It's not Sniper Elite. Sniper.
a
Assassin,
sniper
is it?
special ops.
That's it. It's
Yeah, but
American
that's
Sniper's
the one I was
movie.
describing was the
Oh,
one where he
yeah.
plays this big fat sniper who literally stays in a building for half the thing sitting down, and there's another movie where he talks about governments inside a government, and that's a great
What?
movie. It's one of the new ones.
So it's like a
I don't-
deep concept.
Yeah, I don't even remember the names of half of them, but you just watch them and you just think they're Steven Seagal babbling on about something, mumbling along. He waddles in somewhere and then f***s off, does a bit of, and then
And then he wins the Oscar. Yeah.
he should
Oh.
win. Should have won an Oscar to surely through.
Oh fuck.
But Under Siege was like pre-fat Segal. And like
I don't even know what that means. Hasn't he always been large?
Might have been a taller gentleman,
Been large in here.
but he stopped going from large in here to extra large in here from all the fat.
It's
He was
just like
eating
his
an
fans
extra
are
large in
flooding
here.
out at some point.
Like,
And he was just popping out his eyelids.
but Under Siege is one of those movies where you have a typical sort of story, and where it's like, we have a big celebration on board this ship. I forget what the ship's called because nobody cares. It doesn't really matter in the story.
The Chungus.
Well, it does matter in the story, but like it's the whole reason why they're doing it. But and then you have this. Oh, we're having a celebratory party for the admiral. Steven Seagal's a cook, but they're ordering in food so that they go to tell him you're not cooking because they don't like him. But then Steven Seagal lashes out and punches the commander, so he gets thrown into the meat locker and locked up. And you think,
Wait,
Well-
I didn't watch a bit of this with you.
You survived about 10-15 minutes, something like that. Well,
Yeah.
maybe a bit longer than
Bit
that.
longer.
I was dreaming about that film. I was like, what was that?
you
Oh,
watch,
I
you see,
feel like
you
watching
see
it,
the
yeah.
one scene with the what's her name?
Mm.
The Playboy bunny girl.
No, but he's seen the one where the captain's like right hand man was dressed as a woman. That's what he
Yeah,
was.
That's when I walked out. I was like,
Commander
oh.
Krill, was that it? Was it
Commander Krill, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the my Carter detail we're gonna get.
I know,
now.
that was a bit absurd. I had to walk out at that point
Yeah.
and throw up.
So there was this whole thing where they're having this party. Commander Krill dresses up as a woman, which fair play, mate. And he goes up and so sort of the both fake out the soldiers, but also when he walks into Commander, he's like, "Oh look, it's your date," and then it's basically you're basically already giving up at this point. You're like, right, he's gonna shoot him because that's what they're gonna do. Kills the admiral, half the people who came onto the boat for the party turn out to be absolute madmen. They were trying to take over the boat.
Love a good
Not
terrorist.
terrorists, I'd say mercenaries.
Mercenaries.
Mercenaries that
With
are causing terror.
It's not just
No, that's a plot.
terrorists.
That's a plot.
No, it's not terrorism.
You imagine like someone like detonates themselves in like a mall and they come on the news being like a mercenary of terror instead of just calling them a terrorist.
No, but terrorists do it to create terror. Mercenaries get paid to do it. Like that's the difference. That's the difference between like a civilian doing it and a professional.
Fair enough.
Not
How
saying
many
not
mercenaries do you know? You're in the business.
can't say that. Mate.
Seeing this guy who's very dangerous, he goes by Michael's Movie Man. You should see him on the battlefield. Dropping in.
No,
Oh, shit, I gotta go.
You don't want to see that. It's like watching a f***ing baboon trying to have a shot.
Mate, quick scoop off of
Right. Get past that. So they take over the boat, and they basically realize I think the main guy's called Stranix. Is he's played by the guy, I forget the guy's name.
Oh, we literally.
I keep forgetting things.
We
with
had
him.
it last
Xanax.
time. It's definitely not Michael. Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones.
And he's like an ex-CIA guy who they basically used to go into places and break out of them or break into them.
He plays that character in every film.
Yeah.
Doesn't
He's,
he?
to be fair, like apart from of course Steven Seagal, he is like the best part of Under Siege.
Yeah, he's really good.
He's
in
really
it.
good in it.
But
His death's a bit shit, but he's really good.
yeah, we'll
Does he
get,
actually
we'll,
die?
we'll get to the death. We'll get to the death. But Steven Seagal is locked up. He has his private beside him, but the private rings out and he hears gunshots. He's like, "Oh, Commander, what are we supposed to do?" They go, like, "Oh, we're sending a relief team down to you." And this idiot actually believes after hearing gunshots. And they walk in, they kill him because what's the point of him existing anyway? And then they decide, oh well, Steven Seagal's in there. Well, this is not Steven Seagal, I can't remember his name either. But basically just call him Steven Seagal, even if he's got a character name, it's pointless. So they go in and Steven Seagal kills them brutally, and then when they come in to check, he hides but puts a toaster in a grenade. No, grenade in a toaster.
No, it's a microwave.
It's a microwave, and it's like, oh, that's how it sets it off, and it's like, God.
Perfectly knows, by the way, how many like minutes later they're going to come looking for him.
Yeah, the sense that I'm like, and that's like one of the main movies is like, I don't know how. I'm pretty sure after the first instance where he's fighting, these people know what he was. But like, it takes so long to reveal that he's a Navy SEAL, but you know he is because Steven Seagal can't be less. He has to be an expert chef, a Navy SEAL, who's also like the perfect man at fighting, like
Womanizer as well.
womanizer.
He's an all-rounder, really.
It's like
You just want to be like him. You just want to be Steven Seagal.
You want to get his widows
Wanna be
peak in his
this.
ponytail as soon as possible, man. Like it's
Exactly. You want to pretend you're Asian,
like, like
doesn't he? He's martial artist. He's like.
and that's the thing. That's the thing as well. It's not even like that's not even him at like his peak ego. His peak ego is like now when he's fat and like old, still dyeing his hair,
decrepit, cool.
and like he pretends to be a martial artist, ex Navy SEAL who's in China, who is a chiropractor, gives money, all his money to the village. That's like one of his new movies. I think it's called like Absolution or
Philanthropist.
something. Basically a philanthropist. And every movie has to be like the top rated thing. And it's like, you're not that guy. You're some fat Jew who's got a
Whoa.
goatee, a widow's peak. You have to waddle into your sins. Like, I wish I could just insert waddles. Because like,
I haven't seen any of like the fat Seagal movies. Under Siege is the only Steven Seagal movie
yeah,
I've
like,
seen.
Under Siege is like prime Seagal. And that's bad because prime Seagal was like 2000s, like late 90s, 2000s. And then by like 2003 he was like fat Seagal.
Fat Gal.
So you're
Fat
saying
guy.
it's still in his prime.
Yeah. And then now he's like Seafood Seagal, which is like, which is
He's 2D. He turns to the side. You don't see.
that's how it feels
Where's
sometimes.
Seagal go? I'm over here.
But I'm not gonna break down the whole story, but there's a few like key aspects I want to break down. Is one, Steven Seagal's fight scenes
Oh yes.
in the movie.
Really good in this film.
They were alright at some points.
Probably his best.
Probably one of his best showings.
Don't know what that means.
He actually runs, which is quite. In his later movies, you'll not catch the guy running.
And it pans down to his feet. He's on the treadmill, just moving forward.
The story, I give like a B. It's an action movie story.
It's just a generic sort of action movie story.
Yeah.
It's not as epic.
I remember the first time I watched it. Warren told me apparently it's his highest rated movie.
Oh no, it is. It is.
And I watched it. And THC's like, I know a few things about Steven Seagal here.
Steven Seagal's
on the podcast, isn't it? Don't even touch the audio recorder, man. Just don't.
You're fired.
But no, it's his highest rated movie. And it is probably his best movie when it comes to an action movie. But it's like, but it literally is like, how do you make that movie? And then they have an Under Siege 2. I want to see it because apparently it's on a train, which is god awful.
Yeah, me and Thomas watched the trailer for it the other night. It's like
there's like a whole movie on a train, is it?
Yeah.
I mean that's how
probably. Well, that whole movie is basically on a boat.
Yeah.
What's the difference? What's the difference between it being on a boat or
whatever you call it?
What one's that?
I watched it. I don't know. It was really good. But I'm not taking
Plane versus volcano.
Well, what type of plane?
Is like,
it depends what type of plane it is, because like Air Force One, I don't know if you've ever seen that action film, but it's all on like a plane, but it's like the Air Force One, it's like a jumbo jet, so you can kind of make the whole movie there.
Wait, is that the one with the puppets? No, it's like the one your dad showed us. I don't even know. It's not. That's one kid, right?
That sound effect is perfect.
Yeah, it's the one with Harrison Ford where he plays the president. It's very similar to Under Siege actually. He plays the president, and the plane gets boarded by guys pretending to be CIA agents, but they're actually terrorists. Mm-hmm. Very similar plot, actually. Now that
Mercenaries.
Entire. But like, I think about it, very
so
similar.
Like redone.
No, you think,
but it's so easy to write.
There's like a Die Hard that's like that too, isn't there?
Which one? It's not the.
There's so many Die Hards.
No, you might be right.
It's not the first one. It's like there's another one.
See, I don't remember Die Hard 3, and I barely remember the second one. I remember 4.0, and the really one that came after it. Was it A Good Day to Die Hard? Was that the fifth one? Which was dreadful. I remember 1, 4, and 5. I don't remember Die Hard 2 and 3, so you're probably right. It's one of those two.
Yeah.
One of them's at an airport, I think. So you might be onto something there.
Oh.
But like, if you think about it though, it's like such an easy thing to do. You have a high value target in a place. You get that place taken over terrorists. The hero has to fight them out and save them.
Yeah.
And like, you always have a love interest in the way. Like this one is a playboy bunny who literally like, full on exposes like this exposed tits on screen at one point.
No, not like almost she did. You missed this whole section, so like she's like
he missed it right before it happened.
She's been hired, right? So basically the captain who gets assassinated by the bad guy at the start, it's his birthday and they hired a stripper who's like basically gonna she's gonna burst out of this cake, right? It was so weird. I don't understand how this works. So there's the big fight where basically there's this party, right? And the mercenaries, not terrorists, the mercenaries come in and start gunning people, right? So they come in and do that. And whatever they do, she's like...
They're trying to get her coked up and then cocked up.
Can you not...
That's basically what they're trying to do.
You wee bastard. Leave my phone alone, you wee prick.
Just bite her back.
I will bite you back. She actually bit
but like,
my finger.
That's basically, they basically tried to drug her. Like they basically gave her drugs and then
I'm guessing it starts off and then take out the security.
But here's the bit I don't understand. So she's like, so basically what happens in the film, right? So she's hired to be the stripper. She's meant to burst out the cake, right? They give her like no, it's not sleeping pills. They give her like these pills.
It's basically drugs.
No, because she's feeling sick when she gets these pills, right? But like, basically, Steven Seagal's coming through the deck and he sees all the bodies and stuff like that. There, he's like, okay, so something's going down here, and he accidentally nudges the cake, and she bursts out and starts doing this sexy stripper dance because of course she is. It's an 80s movie.
He wrote that, didn't he?
But here's the thing. He like grabs her, pulls her into this room, and she knows what's going on. She's like, oh yeah, everything's gone to shit. But it's like, hang on. So one, I thought she was passed out from the drugs. Two, so she apparently knows all this stuff is going on, but then still decides to burst out the cake with her tits, like, ooh. Like,
all I'm gonna say is
what's happening?
No,
But she's working with them probably.
Yeah, but if you think about it,
she has like a little.
yeah, but
earpiece on.
also you have to remember it's men at sea, you know. Easiest way to go with that.
Actually, that could be like 4D chess on her part. She could be like, listen, if I just get out here, flash my tits, they'll not shoot me.
That's actually there's a psychology to that.
You're probably right, but Steven Seagal takes her into the room, and it's just like, she's just like, oh, do you remember how annoying that scene was where he was just like, you just out here in this locker, and she just keeps banging the locker, he opens it and goes like, if you keep doing that, they're going to kill us, and then he closes it, and she just starts banging again. It's like,
it's one thing about Steven Seagal films, and it's very noticeable from this one, and later on it gets even worse, is his voice acting is horrible. Now, if anyone's watched Haunted Files, that's a parody series. Our voices aren't meant to be. We're not saying we're good. We're not saying we're good actors or anything like that, right? But when this guy comes on, he's like, "All right, sweetheart, you okay," and he's like, or he turns and goes, "Stay down, bitch." And it's like
you're meant that doesn't move his lips.
Yeah, you're meant to. No, literally. So they have to ADR some of his scenes in certain movies, but he doesn't. So he's just
I know. If you ADR, you have to like just be mute, have your inside thoughts, or just be very clear.
Yeah, and like
really
the way he speaks in this movie, that seems specifically as ours. If you keep doing that, they're gonna hear you, and then they're gonna come get us. And it's like, Stephen, you're not sounding like an actual person right now.
Yeah.
You sound like a nursery teacher.
Don't forget about the end of that scene as well, where she's just like, "What are you, some kind of like soldier?" And he's just like, "No, I'm a lowly cook."
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh my god.
I'm just a regular guy with an appetite for vengeance.
And then you watch him later on, he's sitting throwing CT4 off the side of a boat on the submarine. You're like, okay,
on the topic of his acting, whenever we get to the climax of the film, there's a scene that I want to remind you of, but we'll keep that for later.
Yeah. So as
tell me.
I did say we're not going to go through the timeline, but we'll basically go through the timeline after that scene. Just because like I kind of want to talk about the action scene.
We'll talk about it as we go through.
Yeah. So you then go on to basically Steven Seagal debunking this guy's entire plan, like as if he knows what they're going to do in every step of the way. It is so preposterous. He so first off, he takes the guys that are creating the tracks to carry the bombs from, because basically the guy's plan is take the nukes that were on the boat, or the tomahawk that had nuclear substance in them, and take those tomahawks, load them onto a submarine, sell them off.
Well, of course.
Yeah. No, he doesn't want. I don't think he wants to sell them. I think he wants to use them.
He wants to sell them.
But he fires them.
No, but sure, in the scene he has a phone up and he's like, "Oh, what price are you giving me for them?" So he wants
picking up details in this I didn't even know.
Yeah.
So he's working with you, correct? Right. Is that right?
Slava.
Cancelled.
Slava Ukrainian.
Slava Ukrainian.
Sorry, your podcast is getting taken.
Steven Seagal comes in and he's like, "I'm shutting this down." I'm working with Russia, I'm shutting this down.
It's like Steven Seagal then literally goes through, instead of just going and killing the guy, which I think he can do at any point. He literally, because if you see Steven Seagal's card, like, the guy could literally run through the entire ship and kill everybody. That's how they portray him out to be. But
he's learning to restrain himself.
The best part is, he can do it on his own, but he goes and frees these random guys to help him take out the system that they're using to transport the bombs.
Yeah.
But then immediately he's like, "Oh, how are you?" Like, I don't know the guy's name, so I'm gonna call him Hank. He's like, "Oh, how are you doing, Hank?" Next scene, Hank dies. So you don't care about any of these random guys he saves, and it's like, what's the point?
Like when Hank died, I was just like,
you weren't there, mate.
He was lying. He was lying in bed. He was watching it in his head. See, that's the thing. Well, Mike was
the guys open the door.
You know the black guy with the green overalls on?
No.
Exactly. That's the guy who died.
Oh, wait, I think I know the guy, but I don't remember him having green overalls. But
they had like a green jacket or something on.
Whenever he said whenever he said he had a dream about the movie, what basically happened is because the plot's so predictable. Whenever Michael went to bed, he continued to watch it in his brain because he just knew what was going on.
He saw himself with Steven Seagal.
Yeah.
How has this happened? I've drunk like you had that.
Come in. Same as I say.
But he didn't tell you what the poem was about, and he's not going to because it's not going on YouTube. But let's get on to than me.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
It is. I can see the PSNI thing on it.
Here, we'll roll the window down.
Yeah. Oh, he's going somewhere else.
yours, Adam.
Alright.
If it comes to that, I'm probably going to kill myself.
That was dreadful.
People have been calling it the Beast of Ballyboogie. You come around that and you're like, guys, you're like civilization.
Yeah.
And we're like, wait.
Now he finds it.
Well,
So, we're talking this week's Under Siege special.
Don't call it that.
Under
I'm
Siege
doing it.
special
Under Siege
featuring technical
special.
tea.
Hang on, I want to move this back a bit so I can.
Any
have
of
some wide range.
any of the Segal movies we review, I have to be in the podcast.
Of course, but like
an expert.
we're not calling it an Under Siege
It's
special.
Under Siege special. It's an Under Siege special featuring technical tea. That's how it goes. So, as I said before,
Supervised PS.
Segal saves these like some of the crew members, but they're pointless. I'm just gonna be real. They're pointless. They don't offer much to the story apart from being like, oh, he's so. They basically saying like, oh, like he's not just a cook, and then you basically have these scenes. So you have these scenes here to me where it goes to the White House, and they're like, oh, we're sending a SEAL team, but it's like we've got communications in, and it's like basically Steven Seagal's character name, but we're just gonna call him Steven Seagal. Like Steven Seagal's on the boat, and it's like, oh, he's one of our ex-top SEALs.
Sink the boat.
Oh, you mean
Communications.
It's not the White House. It's meant to be inside the Pentagon.
Pentagon.
Oh, you missed this whole bit because you went to bed. So they're like, they're basically they're setting up this whole scenario that Steven Seagal's like the last hope. That's all they have because they're sending SEAL Team 5. And SEAL Team 5 are the best there is, and the entire team gets taken out by one missile. They're just coming in on a helicopter. They're the best there is. The whole scene.
What can they do? That has to be the one realistic part.
No, literally. SEAL teams, I understand why SEAL teams nowadays, they find it different ways. They either use underwater technology, they either halo jump them. Because the way they try to bring them in this movie is on a Seahawk helicopter, you know the ones with two propellers, one at the front and the back, and they are so slow that when he goes, they're flying in, and you can literally see, oh, the missiles just come towards them, but then they dodge it. I think they take out the normal weaponry, they do the automated ones, like the Gatling guns, but then you're looking down like, but these guys can clearly still shoot this. I thought that in my head, and nearly a second afterwards, RPG goes up, takes them out.
That part of the script was clearly to like massage Steven Seagal because it's like the fact that SEAL Team 5, the best there is, they're getting sent in to like save the day, and it's like you're sending them in via helicopter on a boat that has missiles.
Yep, and automated assault, an automated machine gun.
And automated machine guns.
It's not a good mix.
It's like this is the best there is. Do you just want them to die? Like,
Yeah.
Do you need them?
Like they have missiles flying at and it's like they want to get rid of them.
But,
So, yeah, we need these guys.
so basically, there's the massage to his ego because like, oh, he's the last SEAL on the job. It has to be up to him.
Yeah.
And then there's a scene where Seagal goes. So there's a whole scene where he basically makes this underwater bomb, and the girls beside him like, how do you know that? And it's just more.
He's guarded.
It's just more massaging Seagal's for the movie. Like you can tell how bad it gets in the later movies, but this is like a story of massaging the ego, and then they have Seagal just go into the water, just goes in the water, and like, I thought at first like, oh, no way are they not going to be able to see this but opaque swimming across, like no way they're not going to be able to see him, and finally in a movie, like an action movie, I've seen villains that make sense. Now, for some reason, they can't hit him when he's a non-moving target in the water.
Yeah.
But they do see him and go, "Hey, look, it's the guy." I was calling him the guy.
The guy.
And they all shoot him down.
And that's the good ending. Steven Seagal goes to the side of the sub and throws a perfect throw up to the thing. I don't know if he blows up the sub at that moment.
Wait, he's in the water.
So he's in the water and he throws up a f***ing C4 charge that basically blows up the submarine.
Yeah.
How'd you get the momentum like to throw something if you're in the water?
Steven Seagal, mate.
Mate, yeah, he's seafood.
Yeah. He's the goat.
Like,
That's all you need to know.
Oh wait, I just remember as well. So like, obviously, we got to the point where Commander Krill bites the dust.
who's how?
So he gets he's like in the
He gets
submarine.
absolutely mollywopped off that in the submarine because he's just like is he basically saying, oh I'm already tasting the money, and then you just see the sub blew up and you're just like, what the hell?
Seriously, because like there's basically what happens is as Thomas said earlier, the nuclear Tomahawk missiles that were on this boat, they're offloading them onto this North Korean submarine that was stolen the year before.
Of course.
But there's a scene in the Pentagon where like they ask one of the generals like, this North Korean submarine, you're definitely sure it's been sunk? It hasn't been stolen. They're like, oh yeah, we know for sure it's been sunk. And then it instantly cuts to it swimming through the water. That they obviously have it. But like, yeah, so Commander Krill, who's the guy that killed the captain, and
He jumps on the sub to basically help on, doesn't it?
He's on the sub. And
Oh no! Wait, I got it wrong. So basically, Steven Seagal throws up the charge. It blows up like a chunk of the boat, so they need to do repairs on it.
Yeah.
But then Steven Seagal later on in the movie, Krill goes over to basically help them fix it. I can't actually tell the storyline anymore. I can't tell if he blows them up.
He damages the fin of the submarine.
Yeah, but I can't tell how he blows them up later though.
So I can tell you. So they get into the submarine, and Commander Krill's just like they're about to leave. They're literally about to dip, and because America, they come in. They don't have any.
I know the scene. Right.
They have these old school American guns.
But earlier in the movie, did they specifically say, "Oh, what's your job?" He's like, "Oh, I was a gunner during World War II on the main cannon," and it's like, okay, well, there's clearly saying something. So in that moment, they go to the exact gun this old guy used to use, and can you shoot this thing?
Oh, it's like one of those scenarios.
But the old guy,
I think I still got it.
the old guy's just like, don't we just have starbursts? I don't know what starbursts are, but they're not very powerful missiles. I gather from this. And then Steven Seagal's like, no, these cannons here, we still got shells for those. And then they start loading in these shells. And
Isn't he a cook?
Well, you know,
how do we get to this point?
We'll get to that. But like, it cuts back to the submarine. They're about to dive, and this Commander Krill guy, who's like one of the antagonists, he hates Steven Seagal. Yeah. He literally says what Thomas said. He's just like, oh yeah, I can practically smell the money. Looks through, like the periscopes that submarines have. Yeah. He literally looks through it, and the missile's coming right towards him.
Would you really like see it coming? It's just like
I was expecting to have a line where he's like looking through it, like, oh.
And it cuts off just as they say a swear word.
Yeah. They didn't do that, but they had that.
It's almost even worse because he doesn't react to it. He's just sort of standing there like.
Is Segal's character name?
Reality.
Is Segal's character name Reddick? For some reason, that word's in my head.
That word is in my head.
I think it's Reddick, but we'll get it confirmed.
Smithwick.
So Smithwick, but Reddick. So basically, whenever Segal starts like doing all this weird blowing people up and killing them, they go, oh, this can't be like, he can't just be a cook. So this is the answer to what you were saying. So this Krill guy that hates him goes into the captain's office and finds the Segal's like
files that were pulled.
His files who were
they're
isolated in a safe away from all the other soldiers. And it turns out no, he's not just a cook. He's an ex-Navy SEAL.
Oh, that makes sense.
Who got he basically stopped being a SEAL because he got in trouble. He had punched his like old general or something. Is that
Casey Ryback was his name?
Casey Ryback.
Casey
it's not Ryback. It's Ryback.
By the way, I don't know if the viewers will be able to see this, but this was the image that came up.
At least show me like.
I'm gonna walk up.
Show it in front of that one. I'll be like,
hello viewers on the side. That was the picture that came up.
I can see it in the. Oh my god! I can see it.
Oh. He's massive.
Yeah, so it doesn't even show like young Seagal in the movie. It shows that thing. But
all muscle.
So it was. Yeah, Williams. So there's Williams Tranix, and then the girl's called Jordan Tate.
But was the girl not the girl?
The one in the cack.
Tommy Lee Jones' character, whatever you said his character name was there. Stranix. Is it he is his former general, or it's the guy in the Pentagon that hates him? That's his former general.
So
One of the two of them is like has ties to Segal and they don't like each other.
I think it might be the guy in the Pentagon. I don't think because Stranix says is like, oh, you're an excellent soldier or something like that there.
Yeah.
To him once he finds out, but it's like I'm just gonna skip. I'm gonna skip straight to the deaths in Stranix.
No, before we do that, quick side note, me and Thomas are looking this up. So there's Under Siege and then Under Siege 2, which we haven't seen. We're gonna see it. I'm gonna talk about it. But it's the one on the train, right? When me and Thomas were looking that up, apparently Steven Seagal is trying to get something sorted right now, this year, as Fat Gal. He wants to make that Under Siege 3.
Oh, I thought it was
I'm
going to
here
be like
for
a
it.
weight
I
loss
want to see
documentary.
it.
I'm here for it, but I'm also not here for it because
How could you not be here for
It
Fat
won't be in a
Gal?
lot of cinemas.
because number one, like what does he look like in number 2? Like I have to see
Number
what
2 from the trailer, he looked very similar to number 1. I think it was only a year or so after.
I'm hoping Kevin Hart and Jack Black's going to be this one.
What the heck?
Rock!
Yeah, so these ones are all like the 90s, so it's normal gal.
No, normal gal.
Bro, look at this cover,
Okay.
bro.
Big cover. You could pass one.
Look at that.
What are you about to do there?
Under Siege 2.
Hanging up the side of the
I'm
shirt.
pre-ordering that.
THC's about.
But
You hear that too?
he is trying to get number 3, and I'm pretty sure that's been going on though since 2018.
I think it's 2016. Actually.
Probably he's trying to get it done
That's a
from.
long film.
No one wants
And
to
he's
make
made
it.
so many movies in between. Like, I mean, I was saying now, the amount of movies he's made that are just plain garbage.
He was in one with Stone Cold Steve Austin. Recently, the trailer.
No way.
Full.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
he's in, like,
rubbing
some,
his
like-
head.
He was in like some vampire zombie hunter one that we seen.
Yes,
The trailer for. It was
awful.
so bad. Like, they're straight to DVD type stuff. Literally, the
No,
end of
no,
the
no.
trailer was like
That's
a
what.
DVD.
No, but
monster.
you can't say that about his movies because you can't say you straight to DVD because
But it
all of his
literally was.
all of his movies are straight to DVD.
Under Siege wasn't.
It's because
That
they're
was a Hollywood
instant
blockbuster.
classics.
It was a blockbuster.
They had a Playboy girl on it, of course it was.
Alright, so now we can get on to Stranix's death. So he
This is
meets him in the
this is like
office.
the
Right,
this is like
okay.
probably the scene that's like the most memorable apart from any of Seagal's lines.
And he's a chef.
So he
And
walks
one bit
up
at
to
the end that we'll get to.
so he walks up so he walks into this like the command center
Yeah.
and he's looking around. Oh, where is this guy? Comes out with a knife
Yep.
and goes to stab him,
Yep.
right? And Seagal puts out his knife. And I mean, if you've ever wanted to see knife fighting at its peak,
He's
you
not sitting
have-
down though, is he?
No, they're both standing.
Oh,
But they're standing.
impressive.
So Seagal comes towards the camera multiple times like this, with his knife.
And the cameraman.
So he's
pissing
doing
his pants.
seafood moves with his
It
knife.
falls apart.
But they literally start. So they literally start going like this here, and like they're both like clanging their knives together, and just the amount of bias towards Seagal in this fight scene. I don't think Stranix lands a single slice on a Seagal.
But it's like this nice wee cut just on his cheek. You barely notice. It's not like Stranix who gets sliced here.
Sliced
here.
here.
and
And
Everyone has to shed blood for it to be.
But
But usually the bad guy gets the upper hand in the first half. Didn't happen that way.
Well, that wee tiny cut on his cheek was.
No.
Oh.
And there is the part where he gets the upper hand right at the end. So Seagal. So they're doing a thing like they're like holding their thing. No, their knives there.
Yeah.
Seagal knows he's gonna lose. So So Seagal drops his thing, and then bites the guy's knife.
Bites it and takes it out of his
He
hand.
bites it and then goes like this here, turns plump right on the head.
You're forgetting the bit before that. You're forgetting a bit before that, right? So you like we edit films, right?
Yeah.
You know, editing how things flow together is very important, right? We're no experts. We're not. Well, we're sort of professional, but we're not like. So he does this thing where he do that. He grabs it. Steven Seagal bites the knife and just pulls it out of his hand because who's gonna like? How did his bite overthrow that guy's grip?
And
Did he just, like,
does
he bites it, he
mouth-
just lets it go like
how,
okay.
and
Because
how
he
does
eats
his
burgers
mouth
for a
not
living.
get caught?
And how does his mouth not get? Well, he's Steven Seagal, he's seafood, but so
After
he takes it
the cut,
out,
he's like,
right?
oh.
And then it basically cuts when he does that. Steven Seagal goes like that and like jabs his thumb into the
Oh,
guy's
yeah,
eye,
and then
like, gouges his
And
eye.
that's
out.
how the guy loses grip on the knife.
Yeah, but
Steven's
like
a
he
savage.
has- but there's like. It's like this the most 80-yard sound effect ever where you hear like Stranix be like, oh, like that in the hair, and then it like just cuts. Like, it just
No,
cuts
it's
to, like,
literally it's a comedy scene cut where like Larry goes, gets knife.
But it's just
the
like,
guy's head, and then after that, so he stabbed into his head through the top of his head into his brain.
Through
the
his
guy
skull.
is dead. Steven Seagal still turns him, throws him straight through a monitor.
yeah. And it's one of
Straight
the
in
fat 90s monitors, so he goes like...
It's so funny.
Read a book, nerd.
Like if you haven't seen him, just type up. If you haven't seen the scene before, just type
Final
up
Fight,
Steven Seagal or no Casey Ryback versus or like Under Siege Final Fight. That's
Yeah,
what
just-
it
yeah.
was.
You've probably seen it.
So
But like,
then,
to be fair to them though, it
Yeah.
was made in 1990s.
Wait,
Yeah,
wasn't
it
it?
might
I
not.
I
think
thought it was a lot nearer than that.
I think it
No,
was-
this is one of the old Seagal movies.
no, I think it was late
Oh,
80s.
right.
It was like 88 or 89. I
I
think.
remember the
He's been
second
doing it for a
second was
while.
made in 95.
Oh, second one.
So
But
Well, he deserves to be
so
fat now.
after that, turns out just before they had that fight, Stranix launched 2 nuclear missiles towards Hawaii. Of course, it's okay because Steven Seagal just like he gets the
Hawaii.
passwords in and he just as the nuclear bomb is about to hit the side of the f***ing island,
No.
Steven Seagal, beep, 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 and then it just falls. It's done. Like he saved the day.
What?
And then
Doesn't make any sense, man.
this is the scene that I was saying earlier needs to be cropped back up because you have the best like scene in the entire film where basically he's coming out. There's this big celebration. You know, he's got like the Playboy girl under his arm and like all of his like ship. That's the whole plot point we forgot. Stranix tried to drown all of the ship's crew in like the bottom of the
Yeah.
ship, but he saves them. They all get out and they're all like. Complimenting Steven Seagal, they're like, "Oh, nice to see you," sort of thing. And then some guy goes to
no, the guy does all the. So there's a guy throughout the movie at the very start, but like he's clearly I forget the guy, the name of the character, but he's basically like a jokester, and he loves dancing. So he always comes
Young
up
sort of
like
guy.
he always comes up with like new dances, like new
Yeah.
dance moves, and like they the mess it all. So
Okay.
then he's like, "Oh, you're Seagal, got any moves?"
No. So he's got the Playboy model under his arm or something, and I think the line is something like, "Yo, those are some like moves you were pulling off," and then Seagal's just like, "Here's a move right here," and he just goes in for a kiss. That's so fucking funny.
Wait, he kisses the guy.
No,
There
he
we
kisses the
Come
Playboy
here,
model.
sugar, look
But
it.
it's not like it's like this big line. He almost like mutters it to himself. Like he's just like, "Here's a move right here," and then he goes in, and it's just so
When
embarrassing.
his inside
to watch.
voice leaks out.
Such an 80s like finale.
And also
And
throughout the
the
movie,
transitions like
there's one thing. So the model Jordan Tate character, that's the name of the character.
Yeah, Jordan Tate.
Jordan Tate. So she throughout the movie has this massive character development from hating violence to legitimately killing people.
Yep.
And there's a guy who's a part of the crew who's like, "Oh, I'll help you out." He's basically a simp. He basically is a simp.
Oh,
right.
He sees
But
this
her-
guy-
he's an absolute
Yeah.
pussy. So yeah,
Yeah.
That's like a thing in the
he
movie.
sees
It's
her,
like,
he sees her
I'll
on the
help you.
monitor at the start. He sees her like coming in like through a monitor. He's like, "There's my future wife right there." Things like that.
And then,
Oh.
but then in the end, like this just teaches you, so you have to be an alpha. So like, all gets the girl. Like,
Don't even try with Steven Seagal's in the room, mate.
like
Just not
he's
gonna do
from C4 on the submarines while you're on the computer.
it. Exactly.
That's the other thing about it.
Steven Seagal talks to the guys like, "See, you don't take yourself just serious." And he hits like a red.
But yeah, that was Under Siege. Honestly,
Korea blows up.
honestly, what I would say about Under Siege 2 is
Don't take life too serious, kid.
it's actually quite a good action movie.
It's quite a what?
Good action movie.
It's
It's
like,
it's an 80s, 90s cheese. Steven
Yeah.
Seagal, early Seagal as well.
Yeah,
so
so
you're,
it's
so,
not
so you're not
getting
getting
the
you're not getting the outrageous thing of like there's
Yeah.
no way this guy's actually fighting anyone. Because
Don't
like
get me
in
wrong,
the
it's
later
not like-
movies it is preposterous that
Yeah.
he's sitting flinging folk.
Yeah.
and
You'd
this
have
one
more
was-
chance of him just falling on top of people.
Well, the arrangement's good too. There's like a love interest. There's like different aspects to the film, action, kind of out of the ordinary stuff. That's like entertaining to see. So it takes some boxes. You know,
It's
you
not.
can't
It's not
fault
going to be like breaking any records or winning the
Yeah.
awards. It's like a run-of-the-mill 80s action movie. But for that, it's okay. It's alright.
It's
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. It's like when you think about Seagal, it's like that's his best movie,
That is best.
and it's a
But like,
run-
is that actually his best
it's
movie?
his
It's his
best
movie.
movie. It's his best movie. Run of the mill 80s action movie.
I wish I watched
So
it.
it's all
man.
downhill from this point. Whenever we go to watch the other ones,
I'm telling you, there's some absolute shit in his catalogue.
we need to like. We're gonna have.
There's a
To
movie-
be
there's
fair,
a-
he's made movies though, which is like impressive. I think you'd have a satisfactory career just making that many films. Like whether they're like,
No,
it's not every film is
no,
going to be
no,
groundbreaking.
no, Michael.
It's the process of his life.
Michael.
But he's notorious regardless, which is a weird thing.
Yeah, he's a phenomenon, but not
Whether
in a
he's
good
good
way.
or bad.
But if
He's known for being fat, walling in the scenes, having to
Yeah.
double his
I get what you're saying, though.
using dark lighting to hide that he's fat.
But he's the
He'd
pop
use-
culture king, man.
He's not.
No, I get what he said, because here we are sitting talking about his movies type of thing. Like, it's,
No.
If I could make movies that quick, I'd be like,
I don't hate Segal. I don't love him. I love his movies.
Yeah.
But it's because I like bad movies. He'll never be known as a good filmmaker, a good actor.
yeah.
And is that what you would want from your career if you were making films? No. You want people to think you're good. Especially him, because he has such an inflated ego.
I guess.
He,
Like,
Michael,
your
your ego.
I'm purposely giving my back.
Michael, your ego's here. Segal's is here.
You can climb up there, mate.
Like an average person's ego's
Just
here.
Seagal.
An average person's ego is here. A narcissist is here. Steven Seagal's here.
Seeing the guy's like, yeah, I got a 6-pack. I run a marathon every
A
morning.
6-pack of heart.
Six,
Six
yeah.
pack of, probably something like, I don't know, like,
Six
no,
pack
he wouldn't drink, what's the one, Coors Light? He wouldn't
he's
drink,
a
he wouldn't
heavy
drink,
cream
he wouldn't
fat.
drink it because
Like-
he hates, what's his fucking Van Damme? Because there's an interview with Steven Seagal where it was like, so what do you think about the other guys, like Van Damme? And then Steven
I need him.
Seagal goes here.
The guy as tough as me.
He's kind of cute though.
He can't just say, are you joking me?
Yeah.
It's like, come
I think I
on.
said
That jackass. He ain't gonna cut it.
if Steven
He's got
Seagal was
ruins.
over here, I think a 6-pack of Carlin is his sort of deal.
Carlin?
Carlin, mate.
If he had
Oh,
a British
yeah,
accent, I'd understand.
He looks like a 6-pack of Stella type bloke.
Don't even diss Stella like that. Stella's my darling.
Oh, sweet Stella from
Bit.
Snowden. Shout out if you know that reference.
Chernobyl. Everyone has been there.
Will that be us for the episode?
I don't really desire talking about Under Siege anymore, so I
Yeah.
think that should be
I would.
us for
But
this
no.
episode.
Before we
Oh,
finish, I know Michael, you didn't see it. What would you give your rating? Maybe out of 10.
See, it
10
depends.
seafoos out of 10.
One.
It depends like what we're
seafoos.
marking it for, because as a simple, entertaining 80s action movie, I'd give it like a 8.
Yeah.
But like, as just like, if we're just
Right, we're
marking
gonna- we're gonna-
generically,
we're gonna-
much
we're gonna-
lower.
We'll go generic and then 80s cheese action film.
Okay.
And then we'll have like we'll go back and we'll have a
10.
special tier list for Seagal movies.
We'll do that later, but if we're talking like generic and then as a generic and then as an 80s action movie, generically I'm giving it a 7 because although it's like cheese, think about it, it was shot on a boat. They did like it's one of those things like when you think about it.
That's
even,
what
like,
I was talking about. It's impressive the amount
Yeah.
of films he's made. Because films are like hard to make.
even the
He's got
best
food,
films.
he's got all that.
His films, Michael,
But they're
his-
bad films.
His
yeah.
films get so later
Yeah,
on.
but like
Trust me,
even the
it's
thing
so
I get what you're saying though, because even like
Yeah.
a bad movie, like when you really sit and think about it, like you have to put like a lot of thought into. So okay, it's a generic 80s action movie, but they shot on a boat. They done this. They got
It's
permission
the
to do
process
that.
I'd mark.
There's a lot.
I always think behind the scenes, like
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
think-
yeah,
I don't
When
think
you're
that's
filmmakers
bad,
and you
like,
think behind the scenes, you're like, do you know what,
like,
this
how the
movie
fuck did he pull that off?
exactly. So,
Yeah.
but so generically, I'm giving it a 7. I was going to give it lower, but I'm like, do you know what? The fact that they pulled off doing it on a boat and all that 7. As an 80s action movie, I might give it a 9 because
Yeah,
I don't.
so-
it's not
so-
awful.
So as a
Oh,
from a movie, I think of other movies that's like in like the same sort of category.
you can't compare it to others because there's such good action movies out there.
Yeah,
So,
but
all bad movies,
no. I can and I will. So I'm gonna give it a generic score, like just generic score, and just between compared to other movies.
Yeah,
It's like a 6.
6.
That's,
And then
that's fun.
80s cheese. I might drop you a 5.5 in the future, depends.
But the thing with the one liners, there's 10.
80s cheese, I'll give like a 7.5.
I marked this movie too high.
But on a Segal level, from Segal's movies, it's a fucking 10.
10 on the
Because I
retest.
know how bad it gets. Sniper Spec, once we see Sniper
I'm
Special
looking
Ops,
forward to Sniper
you'll be
Special
thinking to
Ops.
yourself, why didn't I watch Under Siege?
I'm staying sober for that one. I need to concentrate.
Please help Michael stay sober.
I've got like a beer ID in my bin right now.
As I say while we're drinking.
Throw up over the camera.
But anyways, as the guest appearance this week,
Technical T, will he
Yeah.
be a guest for a rare guest, or will he be a staple? Who knows?
Are we gonna kill him
I'm
off?
already stabled the podcast and the community.
Stable podcast.
He's a pillar of the
That is
community.
this week's Under Siege special.
You just don't f***ing call it an Under Siege.
Under Siege
And I'm going to
special.
wrap it up here first.
It's the Hello Kitty Warriors.
That was episode
Signing
14. Shut the f*** up. Episode 14. Under Siege by Steven Seagal. I'll see you guys next week.